Yay, hi, good morning guys. How you doing? We're gonna get started here in just a second. All right, so I'm going to be doing a Sculpt class this afternoon. If you have a band, we are going to use a band around our around the bottom of our thighs. So whatever resistance is fine. Whatever you have is probably fine. And then I'll give you some options. If you want to use blocks, you're more than welcome to. You don't have to. Same with weights. I'm not going to be using weights, but if you have some at home, you're welcome to use them. And I'll give you some options to incorporate them. Yeah, so Sculpt low intensity, we're gonna do 4 different rounds, 8 sets in each round, 40 seconds of a high, 20 seconds of a static hold. I have amped up our lows just a little bit, especially for people who don't have bands. I wanna make sure that everyone is challenged. Of course, you can always do more, you can always do less. Yeah, and then a 40-second rest in between each round. So don't worry, you don't have to remember any of that. I'll give you just a couple more moments to get your things together, grab water if you'd like it, and then we'll get started here in just a second. I am going to be playing music quietly in the background, so you're welcome to pick out your own playlists and turn volume up, whatever you like to work out to. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let's get started in a seated position, either kneeling, seated or kneeling. It's up to you. Go ahead and bring your hands to your knees. Let's move through a few cat-cow. So big breath in, rub through front side body, squeeze your shoulder blades together down your back. Exhale around through the spine, chin to chest, concave the chest. Inhale, broaden and expand, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, round through this spine. 2 more, inhale, broaden. Exhale, round. Inhale, expand. Exhale, round. Inhale, come back to center. Take a twist open to the right. So bring your left hand to your right knee. Open your chest to the right side of your mat. Try to keep your back nice and flat. Lift through the center of the chest. Keep your chin off your chest. Lift the crown of the head up to the ceiling. Gently release. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist open to the left. Right hand to the left knee. Pull the left shoulder back. Press the right shoulder forward. And start to hug your low belly up and in to deepen your twist. Maybe you're able to look over your back left shoulder. Gently release, come back through center. Make your way to a tabletop position. So maybe you're bringing wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, maybe a little bit closer than hip width distance. We're just gonna start to warm up through our wrists. We're gonna be in forearm plank and plank a lot during our 2nd and 4th rounds. So I wanna make sure those areas of our body get some extra love in our warm up. Turn your fingertips towards your knees and then just start to lean back. So you're feeling opening through the wrists and through the forearms. This isn't a very big movement and you want to keep your palms pressing into the mat and then just starting to lean back, pulling the shoulders behind the wrists, pressing the hips towards the heels. Gently release, shift forward. This time turn your fingertips out toward the edges of the mat and then move side to side. And then come back to center, turn palms up, so the tops of your hands press down to the mat. Most of the weight is in your knees, your shins for this one, and then again, start to lean back. Keep the tops of your hands pressing to the mat, press your shoulders away from your ears. Nice, go ahead, gently release. You can lean back, shake the wrists out if you need. And then plant your palms, tuck your toes, inhale, lift your hips back and up, make your way to your first downward facing dog. Take as much movement as you need here, pedaling through your heels, bending the knees, moving the hips from side to side. And then start to walk your feet toward the top of your mat, bending your knees as much as you need to. Come into a ragdoll. Connect your belly and your thighs. Reach your opposite elbows and let your head hang heavy. Shift the weight forward. Lift your hips, lift your sits bones. And gently release your hands down to the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Shift the weight forward. Back is nice and flat. Knees are bent if you need. Navel hugs to spine. Shoulders away from ears. Exhale, fold over your legs. Uttanasana. Shift the gaze to your chins. Inhale, circle sweep your arms up overhead. Mountain pose. Exhale, sweep your right arm under your left eagle arms. Here for just a breath. Squeeze your arms together. It's okay if you don't have the full body, maybe you're reaching for opposite shoulders, or maybe you're just working to press your elbows, your forearms together. Take a big inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, go ahead and release. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, weight shifts forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, eagle arms on the left. Sweep your left arm under your right. Crossing at the elbows, maybe crossing at the wrists. Feel the stretch between the shoulder blades. Pull the elbows down. Big breath in. And exhale, release. Release the bind. Reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the palms. Step back, high plank. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Fingers spread wide. We won't be here long for now, but I promise this pose will come back. Bring your hips in line with your shoulders. Lift between the shoulder blades. Core is nice and tight, starting to get engaged. Your Mula Bandha, your Uddiyana Bandha, the two lower energy blocks of the body. This will be foundational for the rest of the movements we'll take today. Take one more big breath in here. And on your exhale, lift your hips back and up. Make your way to your downward facing dog. Pressing into the center of your palms. Working to straighten your arms. Never be afraid to bend your knees as much as you need to in your downward facing dog. Your heels may or may not connect. Not a big deal. And then look to the top of your mat. Step your feet forward. Go ahead and grab your band. We're going to get started. All right, so bring your band around the bottom of your thighs. And again, you're looking for that sweet spot where it's low enough on the thighs that hopefully it doesn't roll, but high enough to where it's not cutting into the outside edges of your knees. And I will say, I have had some trouble with my band recently. So I've been kind of experimenting with different things to help keep it from rolling. Hopefully these pants do me justice and we don't have too many rolls today. Okay, we are gonna get started with our feet wider than hip width distance. You're gonna start in a squat. So your hips ideally are in line with your knees. Weight is back in the heels. Lift your chest, back is nice and flat. Hands can come to heart center. So sinking hips low, knees and toes point in the same direction. Then lifting just the toes, pivoting on the heels, knees and toes point out in the same direction. So you're in, out, so just pivoting on the heels. We'll go ahead and get started. 40 seconds here. Keep your hips nice and low. Hug the low belly up and in. Chest stays lifted. Back stays flat. Chin off the chest. Just lifting the balls of the feet. And always keeping your knees, your toes pointing in the same direction. Drop your hips just a little bit lower. You got it. Last 10. Navel to spine. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Keep your legs where they are. Just fold forward into a ragdoll. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Reach your opposite elbows and sway out side to side. Gently release, uncurl the spine, come back to standing. Heel to feet, hip width distance. Ground into the right leg for glute kicks. So left leg is super straight. Flex the left toes back toward the face. Chest is lifted, back is flat. And try to straighten your left leg as best as you can. So take the bend out of your left knee. You're lifting and lowering your left heel, so you're not bending at the knee at all. Right leg is straight. This is where if you have a weight, you're welcome to hold your weight at heart center. Core is super strong. Last 5 seconds. You're gonna hold it for your low in 2, 1, hold your left leg lifted. Reach your heel away from the body. Flex the toes back toward your face. Keep your chest lifted, shoulders away from ears. Left leg as straight as possible. Press into your right big toe into the ball of the right foot. Making our way to chair pose, go ahead and release. Bring your big toes to touch, leave a little bit of space between the heels. Sink the hips low. Open and close the knees. So pressing into the balls of your feet, pressing into the big toes, hugging the navel to the spine. Hovering heels maybe just an inch off the mat. Already halfway through this set. And again, always working against the momentum of the band. So try not to let your knees snap back together. It's a really slow, controlled movement as your knees come back to center. Last 5, drop your hips 1 more inch. Forward fold is the low in 2. 1, nice work. Fold forward over the legs again. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Shift the gaze to the shins. Adjust your band if you need to. Gently uncurl the spine. Bend the knees if you need to. Load right leg. Kick your left heel forward. Bend your right knee and lift and lower left leg. So hands can be at heart center here. Right knee, right toes are tracking in the same direction. And there's a little bit of space between my knees. So you want your legs to be about hip width distance here. And again, you're working to make your left leg as straight as possible, kicking your left heel away from your body. Flex the toes back toward the face. Try to take the round out of your spine so you're not forward flexing through the spine. Chest stays lifted. Last 7 seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Hold your left leg lifted. You got it. Core is strong. Right leg may or may not be burning. Squats are next. Just traditional squats. Go ahead and release, left foot down. Feet are hip width distance. Beginning in 2, 1. Hands can come to heart center. Your hips are coming parallel to your knees. Knees and toes tracking in the same direction. So hands can stay at heart center, or you can bring hands behind your head. Again, if you have weights, you're welcome to be holding your weight at heart center. Try not to let your hips drop below your knees. Squeeze your hamstrings, squeeze your glutes as you come to standing. Chest stays lifted. Chin off the chest. Last 8. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Hold your squat. And hold a chair pose if you like. Hands back to heart center, or hands stay behind your head. Shift the weight back. Standing abduction is next. Go ahead and release. Make your way to standing. Keeping that right leg loaded. Let's start with hands on hips. Lift your left leg out to the side, laterally, then back to center. Hips and shoulders should be square toward the front edge of your mat. And again, you're working to keep your left leg super straight. Flex the left toes back toward the face. Right leg stays strong, contract right thigh. Tailbone reaches down, shoulders stay stacked over hips. Last 10 seconds here, you've got it. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Hold it lifted, left leg out to the side. Reach the heel away from your body. Core stays engaged, the belly stays pulling up and in, navel to spine connection. Go ahead and gently release, bend your knees, come all the way down to a seat. Adjust your band if you need to. We're gonna meet in reverse tabletop. Plant your palms, fingertips can be forward. Plant the soles of your feet, lift your hips, reverse tabletop. Bring your hips through, straight legs, flex the toes back to your face. Lift, reverse tabletop. Low belly up and in, straighten your legs, hips are lifted. Here's where you might want your blocks or books. That extra couple inches of height can help get your hips off the ground. So it's up to you with or without blocks. This one's a little bit less about the bands. Last 10 seconds here. We're gonna come to a forward fold for the low in 2, One nice work. Gently set your hips down. Fold forward over your legs. Last set in first round. Let me double check, make sure I'm not lying. Yep, go ahead and hit your palms. We're making our way to a reverse plank. In 2, 1. Lift your hips, legs are straight. Lower your hips, fingertips connect with heels. Plant your palms, lift your hips, reverse plank. Lower hips, fingertips to heels. Last 20 seconds here. I don't know about you, but reverse plank is definitely one of my least favorite yoga poses. But you gotta do the stuff you don't like too. Last 5. Ball pose is the low. 2, 1. Nice work. Squeeze your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your legs, and then bring your nose, your forehead to your knees. Squeezing everything into center. 2, 1. Nice work. You have 40 seconds rest. Go ahead and remove the bands. We'll be needing it for second round. So second round is mostly abs, all abs. And to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous. I've been doing a lot of long walks with my dog Max, but other than that, not a lot of sit-ups. So we might all be hurting together on this one. You've got about 10 seconds left. Grab a sip of water if you need it. We're going to start in plank pose. 3, 2, 1. Starting in plank, lowering down to forearm plank. So move as fast and slow as you want here. You're replacing your elbows with your palms. Keep your hip width distance. Try to keep your hips in line with your shoulders. Think about flattening through the low back. Reach your tailbone toward the back of your mat. Low belly hugs up and in. Always okay to lower the knees down to the mat. It's good modification anytime you're in plank pose. Last 6 seconds here. Coming to Sphinx pose in 3, 2, 1. Drop your hips down. Release tops of your feet to the mat. Traction your elbows and your wrists back toward your hips. Center of your chest reaches forward. All right, so for this next one, you're going to start in Sphinx pose. Top of the feet are flat. And then tucking toes, you're going to pull left knee to left elbow. Then back down, Sphinx, left knee, left elbow. Just stick with the left side for now. Keep your arms, your forearms, parallel to each other. Elbows stay under shoulders. Press into your palms. You will lift your hips, obviously, a little bit to pull your knee to your elbow, but try to keep them fairly low otherwise. Last 10. Last 5, dolphin pose is the low. 2, 1. Nice work. Walk your feet forward, dolphin pose. This is for Nancy James. I know she loves the lows that she calls aren't really lows. Lift your hips, flat back. Okay if the knees are bent. Dolphin push-ups are next. 3, 2, 1. So starting in dolphin pose, walk your feet back, forward plank. Walk your feet forward, dolphin. Keep your elbows under your shoulders. Keep your forearms parallel to each other. Hug the low belly up and in. Last 6. Forward fold is the low. We're going to give our shoulders a break. In 2, 1. Walk your feet forward, all the way forward. Fold forward over the legs. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Bend your knees, uncurl the spine, make your way to standing. Bow extensions are next. Let's ground on right leg. Arms reach up into the right, left leg out to the left, knee to wrist. Again, if you have a weight, you're welcome to use it. Try to balance on your right leg the whole time. Core stay strong. Chin off the chest. Hips and shoulders stay square to the front edge of your mat. So you're not rounding forward, not back bending here. Last 10. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Hold it here. Hold left leg lifted. Arms up overhead. Press your palms together. Core stay strong. Flex left toes back toward the face. Right leg super straight. Contract right thigh. Go ahead and gently release. Next, we're going to come to heel raises. Calf raises. Feet are hip width distance. You can bring hands to heart center. You're just going to lift and pulse on the balls of your feet. Press the balls of your feet into the mat. Press your big toes into the mat. Core stays strong, chest stays lifted. So you can stay here, just lifting and lowering on the heels. You can bring hands behind the head. Or if you want to grab your block, balance the balls of your feet onto the block, and then pulse your heels up and down. Legs stay straight, chest stays lifted. Last 10, chin off the chest. We're going to hold lifted in 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Balance on the balls of your feet. Heels are lifted. Feel this stretch through the front sides of your ankles. Engage your core. It'll help you balance. Nice. Go ahead and release. Step off your block. If you're on it, move it to one side. We're moving to plank pose. Plant the palms. Step back. Let's start with left leg. Left knee, left elbow. Left knee, right elbow. Left knee, right wrist. Left knee, left wrist. And then moving in a box. So left knee, left elbow. Left knee, right wrist. Right wrist. Left knee, left wrist. You guys know what I'm saying. So you're making a square. It's okay if you're not actually making contact. Knee to the elbow or knee to the wrist. Arms stay straight and strong. Shoulders stay stacked over wrists. Lift between the shoulder blades. Core super strong here. Right leg, right heel pressing toward the back of your mat. Last 5. You can do it. Half pigeon is the low in 2. 1. Nice start. Set your left leg down. Gently release hips down to the mat. This doesn't have to be your deepest half pigeon. We're only here for a few breaths. Stay lifted. Feel the stretch through the outside edge of left hip. All right, planting your palms, tuck your right toes. Sweep your left leg back to half gate. Bump your right heel out behind your right knee. Float your left foot off the mat. Little pulses here. So pressing into the right palm, press the mat away from you. Keep your shoulders stacked, your rib cage stacked, hips are stacked. Notice if you're back bending here, try to keep a pretty flat back. Engage your core, navel to spine. Left leg as straight as possible. Reach your left heel away from your body, toward the back of your mat. Last 10. Side stretches the low. Setting your left foot down to the mat in 3, 2, 1. Left foot down. Reach right arm up and over. 1 set left in second round. Go ahead and release. Cartwheel your hands down to the mats. Pivoting toward the top of your mat, tabletop extensions are next. Keep your left leg extended. Reach your right arm forward. When you're ready, lift right arm, left leg, knee to elbow. So 2 hips, 2 shoulders in line the whole time. Back of the neck long, chin stays off the chest. You can stay here if you have a set of 2 blocks. Bring one under your right knee, one under your left hand. Same movement. For a little bit of extra support, you can tuck your right toes onto the mat. Or if you really want to go for it, reach your right toes to the back of your mat. Core stay strong. Building core strength, building back strength. You've got 7 seconds left here. Nice. Go ahead and release. If you're on the block, set them to one side. Coming back to your tabletop, tuck your left knee behind your right, and then just gently press your hips toward the back of your mat. Squeeze inner thighs, pull right hip back. Nice. You have 40 seconds rest before third round. For our third round, we're headed back to the same movement, the same sequence as our first round. So you kind of know what you're getting into. If you want to make any changes, you're more than welcome to. Grab your bands. So band around the bottom of your thighs. You've got about 10 seconds left here. So again, we're going to start with the squats. I don't have a name for this move yet, so if you guys have suggestions, I'm open. So sit your hips low, knees and toes track forward, then pivoting on your heels, knees and toes track out. Hands to heart center. Again, if you want to have a weight at heart center, you're welcome to. Of course, stay strong, low belly hugs up and in. So you're keeping your hips low the whole time. Even though I'm turning my legs, I'm still trying to keep my hips fairly low. Nice work, last 10. Ragdoll in 2, 1. Nice work, straighten your legs, full forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to. You can reach your opposite elbows or wrap the arms around your legs, or gently place hands on the back of your head. Gently release, uncurl the spine, make your way back to standing. Glute pulses next. This time we're gonna ground into left leg and right heel will kick straight back. But if you're looking for more, you're gonna keep your right leg lifted, pulsing the whole time. Just 1 inch lift and lower. My hips are square toward the front of my mat. So you're not opening through the hips, both hip points are pointing forward. Right leg super straight, press your heel away from your body toward the back of your mat, flexing right toes back toward the face. You've got 10 seconds left. Chest stays lifted, shoulders away from ears. Last 3, 2, 1. Nice work, hold your leg lifted. As you can tell, one side is usually easier than the other to balance on. My left leg is letting me down a little bit today. Left leg super straight, press into left big toe. We're moving to chair. Go ahead and gently release. Bring big toes to touch, a little bit of space between the heels. Bend your knees, sink your hips low. Hover your heels just 1 inch off the mat and then open and close the knees. Back is flat, navel to spine, chest stays lifted, chin off the chest. Think about 1 count to separate and then 3 counts to bring knees back to center. Drop your hips 1 more inch, last 10 seconds. Last 5, you've got it. Forward fold in 2, 1. Nice work, let it go. Hinge from your hips, fold forward over your legs. Heel kicks are next. Gently bend the knees, uncurl the spine. Make your way back to chair pose. So this time, left knee bends, right heel kicks forward, right leg is straight, lift and lower right leg. So really hug low belly up and in here. Flex right toes back toward the face. So left knee, left toes are tracking forward, pointing in the same direction. Hands to heart center, chest stays lifted, shoulders away from ears. And a little bit of space between the legs. Legs are just hip width distance here. Last 10 seconds, you've got it. Kick your right heel toward the front of your mat. Holding it lifted in 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Bend your left knee, right leg is straight. Just regular traditional squats are next. Go ahead and release. Plant right foot onto the mat, feet are hip width distance. Sink your hips low. Hips in line with knees, knees and toes tracking in the same direction. Now always bring hands behind head. Chest stays lifted, chin off the chest. Squeezing hamstrings, squeezing glutes as you come to standing. Last 7. Hips coming just to parallel with the knees. Holding your squat in 2, 1, drop your hips low. Your thighs should be burning. Standing abduction is next. Go ahead and release, make your way to standing, hands to your hips. This time right leg lifted and lowers, ground in the left leg. Hips and shoulders pointing forward toward the front edge of your mat. Right leg super straight. Pressing into left big toe. Contract left thigh. Again, working against the momentum of the band. Try not to let the legs snap back to center. Last 10 seconds here. Flexing right toes back toward the face, shoulders stay stacked over hips. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Hold it lifted. You've got it. Core stays strong. We're making our way to reverse tabletop. Go ahead and release. Plant the soles of your feet on the mat. Bend your knees. Grab your blocks if you want them. Fingertips point forward. Lift your hips to reverse tabletop. And then swing your hips between your arms. Flex the toes back toward the face. It's okay if that's like a 3-part movement for you. If you're here, then resituating, and then working to lift your hips off the ground, that's all right. Again, the blocks under the hands will be really helpful. Last 10. 2, 1. Swing your hips through. Set your hips on the mat. Fold forward. Last set, 3rd round. Reverse plank heel taps. So planting palms on the mat. This time legs are straight. You can squeeze inner knees, inner thighs. Again, this one's a little bit less about the band. Lift your hips, lower hips, bend knees, tap your heels. Last set, 3rd round. Halfway through, you've got it. Last 10. Ball pose in 2, 1. Nice work. Bend your knees. Wrap your arms around your shins. Hug your knees together. Bring your nose, your forehead to your knees. 3, 2, 1. Nice start. Go ahead and release. 40 seconds rest before last round. Go ahead and remove the band. Throw it to one side. You're done with it. You can't see him, but Max, our mascot, he's sleeping on the couch. I don't think he's moved since 8 a.m. this morning. Must be nice. All right, you've got about 7 seconds. We are going to start in a forearm plank. In 2, 1. Bring your elbows under your shoulders. You're going to roll your hips over to your mat, if you'd like, or you can keep feet hip width distance. Elbows under shoulders, lengthening through the low back. Core stays strong. Last 10. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Come back to center. Lower your hips. Sphinx pose. Traction elbows and wrists back toward the hip. Your chest reaches forward. Shoulders away from yours. All right, so we're coming back to that Sphinx to forearm plank to knee to elbow. In 3, 2, 1. So starting from Sphinx pose, tuck your toes, hug right knee to right elbow, lower back down. Nice work. Keep the elbows under your shoulders, pressing forward to the mat. Last 10. Last 3, 2, 1. Nice work, dolphin pose. Walk your feet forward. Lift your hips, lift your sits bones. Dolphin push. Walk your feet forward, dolphin pose. I know shoulders are burning. You got it. Keep your core strong. Last 10. 3, 2, 1. Walk your feet all the way forward, forward fold. Bow extensions are next. Bend your knees, uncurl the spine, make your way to standing. This time, left leg stays grounded, arms reach up, right leg out, wrist to knee. Try to keep your right leg floating the whole time. Hips and shoulders square to the front edge of your mat. Left leg stays strong. Left big toe presses into the mat. Last 10. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Hold your right leg lifted, hold extended. Left leg straight, right leg straight. Chin off the chest. All right, go ahead, release, come back to center. Calf raises are next. Feet are hip width distance. Hands can be at heart center. Pulsing heels. Lifting and lowering heel here. Then you can grab your block. Balancing your feet, the soles of your feet on your block. Legs are straight. Lift and lower your heels. Core stays super strong here. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Legs are straight. You got it. Chin off the chest. Imagine someone had a string attached to the top of your head. It's just pulling up and down. Last 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Hold your heels lifted. Bounce on the balls of your feet. Core stays strong. Pull through the inner thighs. Pull through your pelvic floor. Head into plank pose. Go ahead and gently release. Step off your block. If you're on your block, set it to one side. Plant your palms, step it back, high plank. This time, right leg, right knee to right elbow, right knee, left elbow, right knee, left wrist, right knee, right wrist. And it's okay if you're not actually making connection here. Try to keep your hips in line with your shoulders. Arms are straight and strong. Press into the center of your palms. Always okay to lower your left knee if you need to. Last 7. Half pigeon is below. 3, 2, 1. Set your right leg down, right knee behind right wrist. Hips are square to the front of your mat. Again, this doesn't have to be your deepest half pigeon. Stay lifted, rolling here for a few more breaths. We're moving to half gates. Go ahead, plant your palms, tuck your left toe, sweep your right leg back. Left knee stays bent, right leg is straight. Open your chest to the right side of your mat. Float your right heel, little pulses. Flex the right toes back toward your face. Stack your shoulders, stack your rib cage, stack your hips. Reach your right heel toward the back of your mat. Core stay strong, navel to spine. You're almost there. You've got about 12 seconds left here. Right leg super straight. Try to keep your right heel in line with your right hip. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Set your right foot down. Left arm reaches up and over. Tabletop extensions, cartwheel the hands down to the mat. This time your right leg stays extended, left arm is extended, knee to elbow. 2 hips, 2 shoulders in one line. Again, if you have your blocks, you want to use them, bring a block under right palm, under left knee. Oops. There we go. Back of the neck long, chin off the chest. Last 15 seconds of work here. You got it. Last set, last round. Last 5, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and come off of your blocks if you were on them. And then tuck your right knee behind your left. Press your hips to your heels. Squeeze inner thighs. Nice work. Go ahead and shift forward. Let's go ahead and move into a cool down. Make your way to a seat. Let's bring soles of the feet to touch. Interlace your fingers around the outside edges of your feet. Knees are wide. You can work your heels in as close to your hips as you like. Take a big breath in, lift your chest. And on your exhale with a flat back, fold forward. Belly up and in. Reach the center of your chest forward. Press your shoulders away from your ears. And gently release. Bring right hand to the right knee. So apply gentle pressure on the inside of the right thigh, encouraging your right knee down to the ground. And release and switch. Left hand to the inside of left thigh. Make sure you're not pressing directly on the knee joint. And release. Gently draw the knees together. Plant the soles of your feet onto the mat. Grip behind your thighs. Take a big breath in. Roll through the front side of the body. Cow. And then exhale round for cat. Chin to chest. 2 more. Inhale, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, come back to center. Straighten your legs. Take a big breath in, reach your arms up overhead. And on your exhale, round through the spine, fold forward over your legs. Gently uncurl this spine. Keep your left leg straight. Bend your right knee. And then step your right foot over your left leg. Hug your right knee into your chest. Then gently release. Lift your left arm. On your exhale, connect your left elbow to the outside edge of your right thigh, opening your chest to the right side of the mat. Gently release, come back to center, switch sides, straighten your right leg, bend your left knee. So you can keep the sole of your foot to the inside of your right thigh, or you can step your left leg up and over. Either one, start by hugging the leg into the chest so you feel compression through the front side of the left hip. You should feel a nice stretch through the outside edge of your left hip, maybe even a little bit into the hamstring, into the glute. Keep your shoulders stacked over your hips so your chest is staying lifted to start. And gently set the foot down. Big breath in, right arm lifts. Exhale, anchor right elbow to the outside edge of your left thigh. Moving into a spine twist. Gently release, come back to center. Make your way to easy pose, crossing your legs. Roll your shoulders forward a few times. And roll your shoulders back. And coming back to center, inhale, arms reach up overhead. And at the top of your breath, big open mouth exhale as you pull your hands to heart center. 2 more like that. Inhale, arms reach up. Open mouth, exhale. Last one, inhale. Open up.